Hello, and thank you for listening to Gettin Hard, Nate's Backyard. On this episode, we talked to Dan Marshall and Doug Smode of Heroes and Villains Tattoo and Permafrost Suspensions. We talked about all the wild body mod that these guys do. A little bit of transhumanism gets in there. And at the end, there's a rat trap. So go check out their stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks for listening. What the fuck is up? How's it going, everybody? How you doing, Dan? How you doing, Doug?
Fuck yeah.
Cool. How you doing, Doug?
I was kind of confused. I forgot we were starting over.
Yeah, we're starting over.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was like, didn't we already do this?
Yeah, I know. I suck. It's okay. I'll do commercials right.
Do you smile? Or do you swallow?
Oh.
Because you do smile. I'm seeing it now.
Gangster. Besides blowjobs, this podcast is brought to you by righthookmics.com. Go to righthookmics.com and check out their fine line of neato mics.
Just don't blow one.
No, you could if you want. If you had a really big mouth, it'd be hard to get that all in there. Check out Right Hook Mics. Got like 5 different styles. P55, pretty nuts. They sound great. This podcast is also brought to you by BigNateProductions.com. I record. I do live sound. I do lots of stuff, festival stuff, tons of stuff. Go there, look at all the events coming up, shows and stuff, lots of stuff. And Big Nate Productions brings you Calgary Metalfest, June 3rd through 6th. The pre-party will be April 3rd at Dickens. The pre-launch show and Nancy's birthday party.
What? Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy could not be here with us tonight, but
she's here in spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, she's what's in the bottle of whiskey.
Okay, we'll have a drink of Nancy. This show features Every Hour Kills, The Press Gang, Black Pestilence, Oh Shit, and Bloated Pig. And it's the Wheel of Death Metal show. So we choose a lineup by the spin of a wheel.
That sounds
after
sweet.
Every band. So show up early. And then this podcast is, to finish off with what I was just saying, we just launched the launch show, which will be June 3rd at the Ship and Anchor, and it features Woodhawk, The Outer, Bloated. I fucked this up last time. I can't get it on my iPad fast enough. Bloated Pig, Electric Revival, and a band that I'm an asshole.
Wasn't it that band called Choke?
Choke.
Yeah.
We created the moment.
So with that being said, I want to welcome Dan Marshall and Doug Smode of Heroes and Villains Tattoo and Permafrost Suspensions. Thanks for being here, fellas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Glad to be here.
Love the little setup you got here.
Yeah, we're all good now. I can see all the things are coming in. We're being recorded. Everything's good. Tech fails, man. They happen all the time. So we were talking before, just a minute ago, about how long Heroes and Villains has been around.
Heroes and Villains opened in 2010.
Cool, yeah. And you opened it yourself? You're the head guy, Dan?
Yeah, I'd been in the industry for a little bit more than 10 years, and after dealing with pretty much a bunch of bullshit, I decided that I was going to open my own place, and sunk literally everything I had into it, and still work about 70 hours a week to keep it going. Yeah, no, fair enough. How big of a place is it? How many tables you got? And I don't know the lingo. Well, we have we have 2 locations right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
the one by what's that place we always go for? Mongolian Grill. Is that one?
Yeah,
still there?
That's Heroes. That's the one that we've been there since 2010. And then Asteroid M had a place in Inglewood for a little bit, and then the building sold, and we got an amazing 58 days notice to move the whole place.
Oh, sweet.
So we ended up finding a place on 17th Ave and in between 14th and 15th.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Asteroid M.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's at 1528 17th Ave Southwest.
That's a fucking rad location, too.
It was
It
a crazy
beautiful,
move.
man.
Like, giving no notice to like move a tattoo shop was pretty much mayhem.
That's
Then
not
to
cool.
take over that location and actually, put in properly placed sinks, and then that's where Permafrost usually operates out of, because we have extremely high ceilings, and we have a really nice rig point mounted into the ceiling, so we can swing around like a bunch of motherfuckers.
So tell the people that might not know about Permafrost about what goes on there. Well, just to finish what I was asking. So how many like tattoo people do you have working out of say
right now between the two shops there is 10 people, and 10 tattoo artists, and then there's Christine and Skylar over at Asteroid M, pretty much taking care of the background shit, and then there's me and Doug over at Heroes and Villains, also doing piercing and jewelry stuff.
Okay,
all around
you guys don't do any
hooliganisms.
tattoo. You guys just do the piercing stuff.
Can't do it.
And
Couldn't be a
the
tracer.
wild body mod shit. You guys do that too,
Oh,
right? Yeah, right. That's nuts. Fuck, I was looking at some shit. The guy that made the pig nose. Did you see that shit?
yeah.
He like
Pig
cut
nose,
the
it was Red
cartilage.
Skull.
What was it?
Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Holy fuck, that was freaky.
Wait, you
He's
never read Captain
actually-
America?
He's actually
Hail
gone
Hydra.
as far as completely tattooing his face red, putting in a bunch of implants to accent his face to make it look a lot more like the comic book character Red Skull.
Fuck. Intense.
I forgot that one was whiskey. that was what I was setting myself up for. I wanted to make that mistake.
The old trickaroo, the switcheroo. Throw some whiskey in the beer bottle.
Well, fill up a beer bottle with whiskey, put it right beside your beer, and then whichever one you reach, you drink from.
You always win.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Either you get drunk or you get drunker.
How many body modifications does Dan have? How many like things do you have? Do you know? Have you ever counted?
That is, I really haven't counted in
Yeah, they kind of
too
just
many
come
years to even
and
think
go.
about.
Okay.
Well,
While you're thinking about that,
Yeah.
I have another question.
shoot.
I remember all you crazy motherfuckers dyed green dye into your tongues.
No. Jordan was the only one that got green.
Oh, you guys didn't do that? You
No,
did.
No.
we did it. We
Mine's
just did
blue.
different colors. Mine's purple.
And our buddy Matt is black.
Okay, so did that hurt more than what Jordan's did? Because he was bitching and whining that.
Yeah, he's George's a little bitch.
shit.
As much as we all love Jordan, because
Yeah.
anybody who says anything truly bad about Jordan's just being a fuckhole.
Yeah, totally.
Jordan's one of the most lovable people on the entire
Fuck,
planet.
yeah.
That's why everybody puts up with his shitty behavior.
He was kind of just in the wrong place at the wrong time
Yeah.
when we were doing stupid shit.
And he
Hilarious.
jumped in with it and immediately regretted his decision. Unfortunately, with Jordan, as much as it seemed at the time he was making informed consent, he really didn't have that opportunity to truly make informed consent. He was there and got caught up in the moment and excited, and that's how he ended up with a green tongue with the rest of us.
Did it fucking hurt? Was it the worst?
Pain-wise of going in, really, comparatively to a lot of other things, was not bad at all.
Really? Okay.
It was
A day later.
It was the aftercare.
To a week and a half later,
Yeah.
that
it's-
was completely fucking awful.
Yeah, because weren't you guys like starting to starve a little bit? Like you couldn't eat and shit like
I
that.
lost
like a week
23 pounds.
Holy fuck, man! That's
I
As long
lost
as God-
23 pounds.
Pretty swollen for a little while. Couldn't overly eat anything that wasn't liquid.
Like 9% of my body gone.
fuck. That's wild.
That was
yeah.
some whiskey math. Just
When did that happen? What was that like? 2012?
Last
no,
year.
that was
Just-
14 months ago.
Yeah, just over a year ago.
Right, crazy. Oh, that was the most nuts one I've heard of. But okay, so Doug, you have quite a lot of stuff done.
Still
you
don't have a number count though.
Number can't. Yeah, there's probably the number thing.
Like I said, they kind of come and go. You do
Yeah.
some experiments. Some things don't
Right.
last. Some things do.
Yeah,
But
you've split your tongue.
yeah, my tongue is split. I have subdermal implants in my forehead.
And in your hands?
Yeah, my hands. Dan
Is that
actually,
a hook?
Yeah, it's a silicone suspension hook. Dan actually just recently put this in for me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
You also got a couple little silicone hooks in your fingers.
Yeah, just like little dude, super subtle, just in my fingers.
Oh, it's fucking killer. No, it's sweet. And then, so you guys do the scarification thing too, right?
Mm.
Do you perform them as well?
Yeah, I do it with a scalpel, and Doug does it with an electric cautery unit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So if you want to bleed or you want to burn.
Yeah.
Right.
Our shop pretty much covers everything.
Yeah.
Everything that we comfortably can do safely.
Yeah. For sure. No, that's sweet. So then that brings us to Permafrost Suspensions, which is pretty
Hanging from
intense.
hooks.
Yeah, explain that to people in long form.
It's kind of hard to explain to people, other than everyone's always got the graphic image of hooks through the skin, blood everywhere, when it's really not like that at all.
Not usually.
Yeah.
There is the occasional time where we're fucking around and do it on purpose.
Yeah.
no
Performance
shit. You guys-
performance stuff, conventions, but suspension's a very beautiful practice. Permafrost itself has been around for just over a year. In January, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
Cool.
And that came from me working with other crews. Suspension's been a part of my life for about 9 years. Me and Dan and a friend of ours who has a rigger from the oil field, we all got together, kind of just started practicing, doing it safely, traveling down to conventions.
Yeah, because it started out really just amongst you guys at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure, right? And we kept our crew very, very small. We recently just took on a few new members to train, but we kept it very, very close-knit for a while, just doing our thing, making sure we had it very tight. Safety and proper practice is a very, very big thing for our crew. We work very close with the health board and make sure everything's done properly.
Yeah, cool. Fuck yeah. No, that's good. And you lay down a tarp when you do Dickens, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You're the sound guy. You're nowhere near us anyways.
No,
you just sit back and shake your head.
Next time we're going to set it up so we can squirt that far.
Yeah.
Fuck that one I saw you do. I saw Doug. I saw as a permafrost suspension. And, Dan was he was hanging off you or something. I remember he was pulling on you and shit while you were up there.
Our first performance at Dickens there.
Oh, it was intense, man.
Yeah, when we do performances, we really push our limits, but we know what we're getting into.
Right,
or at least we like to think so. And, we don't really rehearse much because, in my opinion, if something goes wrong while performing, why should it be in my basement where no one can see it?
Yeah.
If it goes wrong, that is entertaining as shit. If, a hook, flies out of my back, why shouldn't everyone enjoy that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People do watch NASCAR for the fucking wrecks.
Exactly, man. Left turns? Fuck off.
No, that's fucking pretty intense, man. So you guys did a bunch of festivals. You brought did Permafrost do the festival? You did Loud as Hell?
Loud as Hell, yeah. We're hoping to get in to do it this year, and actually looking into pick up a few more if we can, kind of thing. I'd like to do the festival circuit this summer, get our performances out there a little bit more.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
We have a lot of fun doing it. Those festivals are a great time anyways. We'd pretty much be there one way or the other, you know what I mean? So we might as well pitch in for the entertainment.
Yeah. It's definitely fucking something to see.
That said, if anyone is confused about the difference between our performances versus us practicing,
there's a big difference.
There's an extremely big difference between the kind of nonsense we pull on stage with each other versus how we treat people, especially first-timers.
Because lots of people come to you for suspensions.
We
offer it
as in a safe practice where you can come to us to try the experience.
Any idea how many of those you've done?
Well, we hold open meets about once a month, and the open meets range from probably, I think the slowest one we've done was 2 suspensions, and I think we had one that got almost 10, but I don't remember the final count on it. But it comes down to, we just invite everybody who wants to see it, who hasn't seen it, or who has been to one of our performances and wants to see how we behave when we're being professional, not hooligans on stage.
Yeah.
And
or just blatantly curious. You want to see it, but you want to see it before you try it. You want to make sure the people that you're working with are comfortable.
Yeah.
And speaking from someone that was completely disenchanted from the entire scene of it, when you see it done right, it changes your view of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of a grumpy, skeptical asshole about just about everything. And when Doug and I started going to conventions, Doug had been going for a while and pretty much got me drunk and twisted my arm while we were drunk and hugging it out. Damn,
bro moments. Come with me.
You gotta come with me to this one. You got just come.
I
check
swear
it out.
it's different.
It's not like it was 10 years ago when you were an asshole. You're still an asshole, but it's changed. So we went, and I fell back in love with a lot of shits that I had gotten away from, and thank Doug for that. And now we get to bring everybody else that has ever desired to experience it in.
Yeah. So, like, if somebody wanted to go to one of these, like, for lack of a better term, like, it could be an open house, or
yeah, we call it an open meet.
Open meet, yeah, cool, okay. So they get a hold of you on Facebook,
Permafrost Suspensions, and we also post on Instagram as well under the same name. Cool. Generally, what we do is we pick a day that works for all the crew members, so everyone can be there. And it's publicly posted. All you have to do is contact us through the Facebook page so we know that you're coming, kind of thing. And from there, come and check it out. It's a really good time. Like the experience changes people's lives. Yeah. And like when you ask about like how many people have we hung, honestly, since I first started doing this, I used to keep count when I first started because that was a cool thing to do. But like, I lost count, man. Like I've hung hundreds
over
of people,
hundreds,
and it's like
awesome.
I've seen hundreds of smiles and changes hundreds of lives, and it's a beautiful thing to like be able to be a part of someone's life, a complete stranger, to the point where they'll never forget you again.
Well, that's what's really interesting about it, is you can see for these people, it's like, you know, they're not religious, but it's a religious experience almost.
It's a ritual, right?
Totally.
It's something that shows you how strong you are. Yeah. You know, like when you feel like a little bit down, out, like problems in your life are swallowing you, you can do a suspension. Remind yourself how strong you are, and then all those problems in your life that were swallowing you, they're so small and minuscule. You're like, I got this.
Yeah. When you can hang from hooks in your skin, everything in life gets easier.
You can do anything.
I got this.
And it's not something that's just like restricted to a certain group of people. Like anyone can do it. We hang people from all walks of life. Businessmen.
We gotta get some fucking actors in there.
Like, you know, like
some fucking
people
Hollywood dicks.
We've hung people who would say they'd never do it. They've watched us do it to other people a few times, and then they do it. Yeah. And then they can't believe that they weren't doing it sooner.
Yeah. Besides the experience of actually hanging from hooks, just one of the absolute best things you can experience around the suspension community is just watching a first timer have that ridiculously good experience. You watch them lift off, and like we hung up this girl named Steph, and
just the other day,
just like 2 or 3 days ago now, and she looked like I started laughing because as her feet left the ground, she was trying to grab at the ground with her legs, and she's a really petite, fit girl, and she's got long legs, and she looked like a flamingo.
Just like dancing.
I was just watching these legs go, and just as she lifted, just watching the smile on her face
grow and like not go away. Joker smile stuff.
Yeah, you can't help but warm your heart. You can't help but grin along with her. You can't help but be fucking stoked on absolutely everything that this relative stranger is experiencing.
The energy is just like, it's so positive, and I'm not even like a big person on like energy and shit like that.
You're not Tony Robbins.
Yeah, but
I think most of that shit's bullshit.
But like the energy when someone's suspending for their first time in a room of people watching them overcome this and be that powerful and that strong, man, like you can fucking feel it. Yeah, it is an intense thing,
like extra sensory.
Yeah, man, like almost. And the connection between like the crew facilitating the suspension and like the eye locks with the person hanging, and they're just like their minds are blown. Like not only Steph, we hung another kid for his first time a few days ago as well, and he just couldn't believe it. The whole time he was up there, all he was like, I'm doing it, I'm flying.
And this is at the shop you were talking about?
This was at the Asteroid M location. That's usually where we'll hold our open meets.
Yeah, right on. That's sweet. So we were talking before the podcast a bit. You guys have magnetic implants.
Yeah, we do.
In the tips of your fingers. Do you have them anywhere else, or?
I have a couple in my palms.
And the back of your
Really?
Yeah, I have the back of my hand one. I don't really feel. It's more just for suturing.
But I didn't really realize until you guys started talking about it that there is actually some conductivity of something going on.
Yeah,
there.
they are.
Something's
They're
fucking happening.
a special magnet that comes from an earth element.
Okay.
They're not like your typical rubber magnet where they just like stick to anything and everything.
Uh-huh.
They do stick to anything that's a pure metal, but they also can pick up energy waves. Like if something isn't insulated properly, electricity travels into the magnet, causing it to vibrate.
So if you're like by some like antenna tower.
You can feel it.
Oh yeah, it's
you
fucking
turn on,
whoa.
You turn on the light. You can blindfold me,
Uh-huh.
and you can turn on a light in the room. And if my hand is near that light, I can feel the electricity going through the light. To turn it on. You can feel capacitors and things. When I'm on my laptop, I can feel the hard drive.
Yeah, magnetic switches and Mac computers.
That is
I got
awesome.
this outlet in my bathroom, and it's an old shaving razor.
The razor
outlet,
one,
and it only works when the light's on. And like,
Right, yeah.
if I'm sitting there and I'm washing my hands in the sink, you could have several hoods over me, so there was not a single chance that I could tell if the light was on.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell if the light's on just by how much I vibrate from this uninsulated plate.
Microwave.
Yeah, because there's no ground.
Microwave.
Yeah,
Microwaves.
microwave.
Oh, dude,
Fuck.
microwaves
Holy
just like
fuck.
protrude energy. It's just
My,
it's disgusting.
Have you ever seen sparks or anything crazy? No.
No,
No,
not
no,
really
no.
like that. I don't really know if they would conduct electricity in that.
I think it would have to. I think it would have to be.
That would
so,
be the
Dude,
ultimate.
if I get fucking hit
so
by
powerful, we'd be getting fucked up. Just
if,
being
yeah,
there.
if I get hit by a
Yeah.
lightning bolt, I'm fucked either way.
yeah, no shit, eh? Yeah.
I got 180 grams of steel in each forearm. I'm
Silicone
done.
in my forehead would melt.
Okay, that brings me to my next question, because I've heard of guys like putting under their skin like carbon fiber shit, like fighters,
It wouldn't be carbon fiber.
or
It has to be something that's biologically compatible with the
Right.
human body.
Realistically, you haven't heard of guys doing that. You've heard of me.
that's probably no. But I
Dan's
maybe
on
it
the
was a
level.
Rogan podcast or something where they were talking about like they're it's kind of a thing with the law. Like if this, you're carrying a fucking weapon around, like in your arm, because you could just smoke somebody. It's like stronger than bone and shit.
Yeah,
Well,
Dan.
Have
I
you ever
got
seen- have you ever
on
seen-
my
is that
on my
what you
forearms.
have?
I got a half inch
Holy
of steel,
fuck! I've never seen that before.
and with
you have a fucking bar under your skin, underneath
it's
your forearm.
6 inches long by a half inch thick, and
It's a block machetes.
yeah.
block. Yeah,
You know,
wow.
just in case.
Fuck, you have both of them done? That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
That-
like,
that's
ding,
fucking
you know,
awesome.
like
Yeah, it looks good when I dance.
Holy shit! And then what's in your bicep?
Oh, those are fingers from the guys I killed.
Nice.
See, if we were on video right now, that'd be a hit. Everybody
Yeah.
listening is just thinking, "What the fuck are these guys talking
Yeah,
about?"
I'm sorry you can't see this, everybody. It's pretty nuts.
Don't worry, we'll post pictures.
Yeah, we'll take a bunch of pictures and
the-
links.
The ones in my forearms, I did in 2000. They were the first real implants I did.
So those are metal.
Yeah, they're. Can I bang on the table?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, here, let's move my whiskey and my beer. And
So does that hurt the skin when you do that?
it hurts less than if I knocked on it with my knuckle.
it's like a
Right,
pinch,
wow.
right? And when you have like a hard implant like that, the skin gets used to being banged around.
And
Right.
you gotta think too. It's been in there 15 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck. That's hard as fuck right there. It doesn't
correction. It's as hard as steel.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So those have been there a long time. The ones in my upper arm, the lower one I did in 2004, and to be honest, I carved them to look like biomech type hoses, and coming off my tricep. So when I got my arms tattooed, eventually, even though that was more than 10 years ago now, that it would look rad. And then I did another one in 2006, and I realized once the two of them were together, it looks remarkably similar to fingers.
Yeah,
And that's just become an ongoing joke.
yeah. No,
it's a good way to freak out clients.
yeah, that's fucking cool, man. It's nuts. Anything else crazy? I mean, I don't know.
got,
Should I ask you about your cocks now? What's going on with
We're
your
on internet
cocks?
radio. We can do
What have
anything.
you
can't
done
we?
to your cocks?
You just wait. You'll find out after that bottle of whiskey's gone.
And like as far as implants go too, like I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Dan's old as fuck. No one really uses steel implants anymore or hard Teflon and things like that because it does cause a slight damage to soft tissue. Most implants that we do now, like especially at the shop, any implant we do are like a very, very soft silicone, so there's minimal damage to any exterior tissue that it's touching.
Right. Think like day old gummy bear.
Yeah, pretty much. If you touch the hook in my hand, or the other hand, I'm drunk. You can feel it. It's soft, right? Like it's malleable.
It's like a hard vein.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something like that, yeah.
But like I said, if I get hit by lightning, this shit's fucking melting.
Those are metal in your forehead?
No, those old.
They'll just melt.
These ones are silicone, but the top ones are a big metal like base with a healed pocket transferring through the skin.
See, the one good thing about the old school nonsense I have in me versus the really good shit Doug has in him is
he said something nice about me.
Fuck off. His shit's gonna melt. He's gonna have drippy plastic tears on the front of his skull.
Really?
And
then eventually?
No. If he got hit by lightning.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was talking about that lightning trip. Now, for me, my forearms are gonna burn, and my Teflon ones are gonna be fine.
Huh.
So I'll be just as ugly, but I'll have burn scars. Whereas Doug's gonna get considerably less ugly, but on the inside of his head, he'll have drippy silicone tears because he's always crying like a bitch.
That would hurt like a motherfucker.
I was just noticing too. You have the screw-on receptacles.
Yeah, those are the steel ones. And what they are is a transdermal implant. So they were also implanted from underneath the skin. But the difference between the subdermals and the transdermals is subdermals are completely encapsulated under the skin.
Right.
That's what sub means.
Transdermal implant. It transfers through the skin where they make a pocket. They put it underneath and they actually cut a hole to let the post come through.
And that's what trans means.
Transfer. So yeah, I can just pretty much screw accessories on to the top of it as I please. But I try not to do it when I drink, even though it looks cool. You forget that like you have these giant things sticking up on your head. I passed out one night with my horns on. I woke up all haggard and I had a fucking like couch cushion stuck to my head.
Yeah. I have a pretty good scar on my ribs from one of Doug's horns.
Wrestling, I gave him the old fucking gouge.
Oh, yeah.
He charges at me. I throw him in a guillotine choke. And then we both start giggling because we hit a wall. And then we stand up, and Doug's horn is bleeding, and I have this like 4-inch slice along the side of my ribs from the horn that happened to be close to my ribs when I threw the guillotine on him while he was choking or while he's tackling me.
Fuck, intense.
Here's what happens when you party.
Yeah, no, you guys are the best in the pit. I love fucking watching you guys fuck each other up in the pit. It's fucking hilarious. And then everybody's like tries to go against you and they just get smoked. It's fucking
to be honest, that's almost all this cunt right here.
But you do pretty well yourself there.
It's rare that I go in. I gotta be fired up to go in anymore.
Fear Factory.
Yeah, Fear Factory.
When he lets the hair down, game on.
My hair is down. Watch out.
Yeah, fucking game on.
I just went in the pit at Machine Head. That was awesome.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
So did they? Someone told me they were gonna have an opening band. It was just
it was an evening with Machine Head.
That's fucking awesome.
I think they played for at least 2 hours.
How much Rad 90 shit did they play?
Oh fuck! They played all of it.
Nice.
What I loved is we were talking about it before, and like everybody hates the Supercharger album and
why?
And Burning Red. The Burning Red, because they said they were like rap metal, right?
Anybody who hates those albums is just a cunt.
I know. But then he played they played something off of everything, and when they played the Supercharger song, I was just like, yes, fuck,
yeah.
You know.
That's because you're reasonable.
Yeah.
That's good Machine Head right there.
Like I'm not a fucking music critic. I just like Machine Head, and
dude, people that get fired up playing their music, it doesn't matter what they're playing, as long as they're doing it reasonably well. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. I was like 18 when the Burning Red came out, so it was just blew my mind. I saw them in Portland. It was fucking unreal.
Dude,
and then I read out, they're rap metal and all this shit. I'm like, what? They spit like 2 lines and the whole fucking... And they did a fucking... a Sting cover? Or
that was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
In a bottle. It was a hit.
Yeah, I know that made it... That was a hit for them.
Man,
I mean,
good covers are
Dude.
fucking sweet.
Like, Burning Red came out, I was still new in tattoo shops. I hadn't been working there more than a couple of years, and I remember it was all we played at... this is going... I think it was Lucky Devil in London, Ontario, going back into the previous millennium there. Yeah. And all we played was the Burning Red and Hooray for Boobies.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Bloodhound Gang for the win.
It was just those 2 albums all fucking day, all the time. And you know what? They're still both on my iPod in my car right now.
Yeah.
So good. No matter what you think about the music, anybody who is over like 28 now probably remembers those albums.
Yeah.
Probably remembers a bunch of other albums from the similar time period.
Yeah.
That they're tied to so much cool fucking shit
that
happened.
I believe we call that the 90s, and it was awesome.
Well, that's what was cool about the Burning Red is I went and listened to their old albums before that, and I was like, what in the fuck? This shit fucking rules too. And then became a huge fan of that stuff.
For sure. I remember the first time I fucking heard Machine Head, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Right on.
Well, the best part about Machine Head is you look at a lot of the popular heavy music that was going around, and you got Fear Factory's Demanufacture album, and I don't care who you are. If you don't like that album, you're a cunt. It was heavy as shit. It was so much better than Soul of a New Machine, and it was awesome. Then they put out Obsolete. That was fucking rad too. Yeah. You got it was Static X's first album that came out at the time.
Yeah, that one.
And that Wisconsin Death Trip, that was rad. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of most of the stuff Static X did after that, but that album, awesome. You got System of a Down actually doing something that was awesome.
Oh, their first album was so heavy.
Political, stupid nonsense that I hated.
Yeah.
And it's just there's so much really cool music that would be labeled nu metal by people who didn't experience it and would use nu metal as a term of bashing.
Yeah.
And
which realistically most nu metal should be bashed.
Yeah, well, right. Like there was other bands too, like Spine Shank.
Fucking Spine Shank! I haven't heard of them in a long time.
Like they had a good album or two. They like just put out a new record, and you're like, oh,
really? Spine Shank's still around?
Yeah, I know. It's like lots of those bands are still around.
That's the thing with Machine Head. Like they've been solid for so long.
Yeah, and they got better too, which is like wow.
Even when they try like new sounds, new styles, they do it well.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people don't accept the change if they're trying something different. But even in a band that fucking long, you can't do the same thing forever.
Yeah, fucking A. I gotta grab a beer. We'll take a break.
Cool.
I have a wacky question. The magnet things in your fingers.
You're loving that, aren't you?
Yeah, you're so stoked.
Yeah. When you're using your, do you have them in your thumbs?
I don't know, but in dominant fingers.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 in my hands.
Oh, okay, but not the thumbs.
No, I don't have any in my thumbs, but I mean, I'm holding the back of my phone with my fingers all the time. And
do you feel it on the phone?
I can feel when my phone's hard drive goes. I can feel that. I can feel it when different shit happens within my phone. I can, if I'm paying really, really close attention in my my ring finger on my right hand, because that's for me, that's just the most sensitive one on me. I can actually feel the difference of when Wi-Fi is on versus when Wi-Fi is off.
Holy fuck!
And no, it doesn't. It doesn't fuck up anything.
Think of it like this: like most Mac computers and like even my Samsung phone, which has a flip case. Like most of them run on like magnetic switches for on and off. So they use the same magnets in them.
Your magnet shut off is right there.
They use the same magnets in them.
Wow! He just pointed out my magnet shut off on my computer.
Well, can you direct that light?
Yeah.
You can probably, if you pay attention, looking at my fingers,
see them flip.
You can see a white spot form.
Oh shit!
And what that is my magnet.
Holy fuck!
That's my one magnet rolling in my finger as it finds the magnet in your laptop.
So they're like articulated magnets?
Kind of. They create a pocket, right? They sit inside of a pocket. So a magnet can flip, and it's always looking for the magnetic connection, right? Like true north. But
Wild.
like I was saying before, is most computers and phones nowadays use magnetic switches inside of them. So new age magnets and not rubber magnets, but proper magnets don't have any effect on electronics. Like damaging wise, they don't like make your credit cards or bank cards, like they don't destroy the stripe.
You can't just put your hand on the bank machine and it just fucking starts spitting money out.
I fucking
I
wish.
can.
I can.
Yeah.
That's how I afford my alcoholism. That said, the only thing I personally have ever had an experience with shorting out. I stayed at this mediocre resort in Mexico because I won't be in town for Stampede. I fucking hate Stampede.
That's when my band goes on tour.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah. I'm using a whiskey bottle for that one. Hey-o.
Oh, Nancy's here. Just a sec.
With anything to do with my magnets was we booked this trip to get away from Stampede because Stampede's fucking terrible, and we stayed at this really mediocre resort in Mexico. This was just kind of like the cheap one that we booked on short notice, and they had these flimsy garbage key cards, and I actually managed to demagnetize the key card with my magnets in my right hand because I kept grabbing that, and that was the only time I've ever had that happen. We've stayed in hotels.
They're like, how many cards are you making, buddy?
We've stayed in hotels before and since, and I'm sure that chick at the desk, she just thought I was too drunk to use a key. But in reality, I tried that key several times, and one or two of the times might have been because I was drunk, but the rest of the time was because I fucked it up.
That's fucking wild. So, do you guys? Is there ever? I mean, with you, it looks like not, but is there ever rejection with these intense implants, whether metal or Teflon?
Well, rejection is often caused by a combination of either poor materials, poor aftercare, or poor placement.
Okay.
And
do you take any anti-rejection drugs?
There's not really such a thing. You know? Like you can boost your immune system at best, but there's no such thing as like an anti-rejection.
I see.
Well, anti-rejection drugs are generally for transplants, and they are actually immunosuppressant drugs.
Oh, yeah.
They make your immune system less responsive so it doesn't attack what you've had.
Right.
Which would make it terrible for healing. For healing our type of stuff, not for healing transplants. Transplants, it works very well.
Yeah.
But rejection in like implants and piercings and such, often, almost always has something to do with the placement or the material.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, you'd go from something like an eyebrow piercing. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, rejection has to do with. Most people are using shitty quality jewelry. Right. That shitty quality jewelry keeps the hole irritated, keeps the fistula from forming and then softening, and is constantly leaching shit out of the crappy jewelry, constantly having issues because of that.
Turning green.
And then after that, you have this really dense, horrible scar tissue that doesn't have proper circulation. So anytime you bump it, you fucking tear it. And then every time you tear it, you have less skin. And boom, you have fucking issues.
Yeah.
And then you look at something like that with an implant.
Yeah.
You don't put the implant in the right layers. You don't put the implant in the right place. You put it at a high point on the body and the constant friction. And you have issues. Yeah. And then there's those times where, I did a bunch of implants on Christine's collarbones. And they're fucking rad, and they are strikingly beautiful how they look. Like you see her in the right light, and it's just holy shit. You look like the sexiest fucking alien that's ever been.
Gay.
Fuck off. But I mean, you look at when she puts on a seatbelt, and that seatbelt bridges across one of the big ones. And
Oh, shit.
that causes irritation every once in a while. And
Oh, shit.
that's not something that, as long as she pays attention to, is ever
Right.
going to cause a problem. But I mean, if she did it every single day, like
Is
if
that
she drove
steel?
truck for no, they're
Okay.
silicone ones, like the ones in Doug's face.
okay. Because that would, if you got in an accident or something, yeah.
Well, either way, like even with like any implant, I've actually dealt with implant rejection myself.
Oh, yeah?
Doing some experimental implants that were a bit big for placement, kind of thing.
Right.
My first set of subdermal horns actually rejected through the skin in my forehead due to the fact that they weren't placed in the right layers.
Volcano.
Okay.
Too far down?
No,
or
no, too shallow. Like
Oh.
you want to place an implant in the subcutaneous layer.
So that's like after the skin?
It's pretty much
and-
where the dermis completely ends,
Yeah.
and then there's a layer of connective tissue that hooks to your muscle and fat layers.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Um, My
Okay.
implants were put inside of multiple dermal layers,
yeah.
and then there wasn't enough blood supply to keep the tissue on top alive. It created a high point, like Dan was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The tissue just slowly died, and the implant started showing. Once the implant starts showing,
You're
it's
fucked.
pretty much
It's
gone.
Yeah, it's
Take
not
it.
coming
I
back.
was very, very lucky to meet a good friend and a good artist named Jesse Starr, who a year after my implants had rejected, told me how to treat the scar tissue, take care of it, and he was actually able to rework the area. And like I said, he's an amazing artist. He's been doing this for like 12 to 15 years, roughly, and yeah, I was very lucky to come across him.
The only thing better than Jesse's implant work is his sense of humor.
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
He's such an obnoxious cunt, and I love him.
Awesome.
But then you do bad experimental stuff. Seeing how we're open air on the internet radio,
Yeah.
Spider.
I
No
put
FCC.
I put a big spider implant on top of my penis.
Holy
about
fuck.
A year-ish
On the
ago?
shaft of your cock?
Yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
like midway up, and it was like a big spider,
Like the size
Like-
of your hand?
No,
Okay.
It's like meant.
it was like roughly like
It's
the
probably
inner palm
2.5
of my
Like a
inches
hand.
toonie?
wide.
A bit bigger
a little
than
bit
a
bigger
toonie.
than a
Okay.
toonie.
But it had like spread out legs, like full bore, and
The-
the implant was made for a flat surface, and it's a really nice implant, and like when it's placed properly. But I was like, you know what? I'm pretty well endowed. I'm pretty sure I can hold this. Let's see what's gonna go on.
Oh,
here.
shit.
And we put it in, and it pretty much started healing. But I was a little bit too rough with it.
You remember
And-
when we talked about
No
informed
way.
consent?
Yeah.
Informed consent means Doug knew better,
Yeah.
but he didn't do better.
And that's, yeah, very true. And, you know, I started to have slight rejection problems. We shortened a few of the legs, sutured some holes up, and then eventually the whole thing had to come out after a few months.
Holy fuck.
Now,
Realistically, we could have de-armed the spider and had success.
it could have
but
been
it wouldn't
an
have been a
ant.
spider.
Just have a big horn on the top of your cock.
Pretty much. And so, like, you know, I
How
pulled...
good would a spider cock been, though? eh?
Wait, no, dude,
Like, whoa, look
dude,
at
trust
this,
me, it
man.
was fucking gnarly. But, you know,
Anyone who's not scared of it's into it.
yeah, and the funniest thing was when I showed it to one of my buddies, he was like, "That's really cool and all," but he's like, "Chicks hate spiders. Like, what are you fucking doing?" I was like, "I never even thought about it. This isn't for them."
Take my
But
spider
once
cock.
everything started to go south and I knew it was going wrong, we pulled it out, and you know, lesson learned.
Lesson learned is to adapt to the scenario.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I will.
So when you put it in, this is going to sound super gay, but when you put it in, like,
I did not use my mouth.
no, well, as long
You
as it sounded
wanted
that gay. But did you have to like chub up and get half hard when they put that
no, not
fucking
really.
thing in?
Like,
or they
after
just-
like Dan massages me lightly with the surface prep, I was like halfway in between, anyways, which helped for sizing it out, kind of thing. But like, wasn't really necessary.
See, Doug's got this thing where he gets hard for men.
You touched me, I get hard. I'm an excitable guy.
He's looking at my hair, and then he's like, "Oh, that's really nice."
Yeah, and
then
the
he- then he's-
gloves and the
then he's looking
scalpel.
at-
It's really kinky. Like, it's a very kinky fucking process.
And then what throws him right for a loop is my strong touch.
And
I get a hold of that thing. I pinch it like it's a fucking eyebrow, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
and,
Some strong hands.
and fair enough, too. Once he created the cut and elevated the tissue, created the pocket where the spider was going to sit, I had a big ass pocket in my dick on the top of it through the skin. So what
That
does
is
Dan
fucked
do?
up.
Takes a fucking pinky and slides it into the hole, into the pocket, and like fucking puppeteers my
Oh
dick
my
with
god,
his finger.
you got
Well,
finger fucked.
I mean, how often do you get
Yeah.
to finger your boy?
Yeah. On the top of his half-hard dick.
Context.
Yeah. Make sure that can't be edited.
No, fuck context.
So, what do you guys think about fucking
I hate it.
RFID?
Ooh,
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, we don't need that.
no, RFID. There's some really, really, really cool shit to do with it. Now, RFID,
I'm talking about RFID
I know.
implants that they
I
want to,
know.
just for the listeners.
I know. I've
so
done
that
them.
they, like, you don't have to have a wallet or keys anymore. You just fucking...
Scan your fingers.
and I'll be dead before they do this to me, but...
No, Nate, hear us out.
Okay, yeah,
There-
see, here
there's-
we go.
yeah, we're gonna sell you on
Sell
this.
it to the world. aren't we?
I'm not trying to sell anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, there RFID chips being implanted, to the best of my knowledge, at least. And please, no one quote me on this and send me 100 emails telling me I'm a fucking ignorant cunt.
He has no god.
The thing that comes down to it is, to the best of my knowledge, RFID chips being implanted became popular with the cattle industry because you have a limited scan range, and whatever information is stored on the chip can be used for 100 different things.
Yeah, and pets,
Yeah,
right? To
yeah,
track
they're-
your pet
they're in
and
all
shit
of our
like that.
pets.
Yeah.
So you have this RFID chip in a cow, and it comes near the scanner as you're pushing them through the fucking channel or whatever it is, and makes it so you can count cows as they run through the fucking gate.
Yeah.
And that's realistically, that's awesome when you think about it from an efficiency point of view. Now, we as humans, we like to tinker, and there's a lot of different shit you can do when you have easy access to a tiny bit of information. Now, our credit cards. I don't know about you, but I have a bunch of them, and I misuse them appropriately.
Right.
They,
I burned all mine.
Yeah, they have a little fucking chip in them. And for anybody who can tap something with their credit card, has an RFID chip with
or
them
debit
regularly.
card like I can.
Yeah, and that you can program the same code of numbers. If memory serves, and again the same stipulation.
Yeah.
Again, if I fuck up, don't give me shit for it. It's just I'm not very good with technology. I do my best, and I say red, but I don't understand it. It's like a 15-digit code that you put on your RFID chip. The same code that's on your RFID chip in your card. And you could scan it if you had that in your hand. So anywhere you could tap your card, you could just tap your fingertip and do the same shit. And you can use it to unlock your phone. You can use it to start your car.
It's so convenient.
Yeah, people use it to unlock
it's so
like
easy.
electronic
It's so
security on houses. People can just scan their doorknobs.
This one guy that I did an RFID chip on, he really interesting guy. And
You've done these.
oh yeah,
They're actually a
Tons
very
of them.
simple implant as far as.
Well, no,
cleaning
I
goes.
saw the procedure. It looks fucking
Yeah.
dumb.
dude,
simple.
it's pretty much an injector needle, and you just you put the needle in the right spot and you plug it, and it's
in the
done.
hand, in the right hand.
It just depends on what
that's
you
that's
use
right where I put my suture magnet, and you can kind of see that lump there.
Yeah, like where the thumb and the
Yeah, I
finger meet.
can explain the suture magnet anytime we want, but the RFID chips, this one guy, I wish I remembered his name. He was a really, really nice dude. He had almost nothing done to him in the body modification kind of spectrum.
Right.
And he was telling me, and before I had finished cleaning up the little tiny bit of blood that had came out from the procedure, he had already set his phone to unlock.
He was
and
programming it while you did the procedure.
that guy, I don't even understand. Like, he was so into the technology that we were putting in him that he had that shit fucking sorted while I was doing the procedure. And I mean,
more than
realistically,
he was just more into it than you guys doing
Oh
it. to
yeah.
him.
Like we know
It's
how to
like you
do
didn't-
it, but like, he knew how
he
to
knew how
run
to
the
really,
technology.
yeah.
He
This
was
run
literally
with it.
programming the chip while Dan was putting it in him.
as much as I know about piercings, this guy knew about RFID chips.
Right.
He had that shit programmed to unlock his phone. He could make his phone say things by waving his hand. And he was telling me, like, the whole time while I was doing it, he was writing the code so it would unlock his doors and turn on the lights depending on the room he went into.
Fuck.
And it's crazy to think about the technology we have access to that we do not use to its fullest potential. Like, a perfect example of that is that magic box we all carry in our fucking pockets, where it makes I don't know a non-excusable answer.
Right. Well, that's what I've always said the iPhone 9 is going to be. It's like you're going to get this little crack rock and you're going to just snort that fucker and it'll fucking grow into your frontal cortex. Like you'll feel kind of sick for like 3 days.
But it's worth it.
And then there's like a little robot behind the top.
Nanobots, they're coming.
They'll just grow into your pineal gland.
Nanobots. SciShow did a post recently, and it was talking about the first robotic swarm. And these were little tiny bots that were about a cubic centimeter, and they could perform tasks in tune with each other.
That's fucking scary.
I've seen that.
It's
back
amazing.
to the RFID thing real quick. Like I saw, I think it was if you check out Vsauce's, it's
Vsauce.
called Mind
Vsauce.
Blow. The Mind Blow, though, they've done like 98 or 99 of them now, and it's like 10 minutes of like mind blowing shit, like everything. It's like bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it's like super fast format. But they had this office in Sweden. They're doing it to all, like it's totally voluntary, but they're doing it to all the people that want to work there. You know. Because it opens all the doors and blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, if you're a religious moron at this moment, you could think it was the mark of the beast.
Well, no, I see. I'm yes. Okay, but here's my problem is, and I don't want to have a dinner table discussion really about this, but it's like if you have the government and the banking system under your skin. Like that's a real fucking problem. Like, what if all of a sudden?
But
what if all of a sudden the technology keeps evolving, and I'm behind on my fucking cable bill, and man, I feel real foggy today. I don't know why. You know what I mean?
Hand in the wrong scenario.
Sorry?
I waved my hand in the wrong scenario, and suddenly I paid off my cable bill, and I can't afford to get groceries.
Yeah, or like, dude, they just jacked. I would have to Google it, but they just jacked like a shit ton of money electronically from a real bank.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, all this, everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin's a fraud and blah, blah, blah. Banks are a fraud.
Yeah, banks are a fraud.
So it's like you've got the government that can't govern anything.
Yeah,
can't
the Federal
enforce their
Reserve
own
is
fucking
not
laws.
a real thing.
So I don't pay my tax. I'm late on my taxes. Now I have flu-like symptoms for the next.
But like,
you know
but
what I mean?
other than
It's
the
just like,
flu-like symptoms, like realistically, what you carry in your pocket, they can access everything anyways. If you don't want to pay it and they need the money from you, they can fucking take it.
But
from you.
I could take a sledgehammer and smash the fuck out of my phone, and I
Yeah,
can
but
do that to your hand.
But your
too.
electrical imprint, like on the internet, does not disappear when you smash your iPhone.
Oh yeah, no, Facebook's hilarious, right? It's like if they wanted you, they would just
You're
like
fucked.
they would go to all your friends and be like, "Where is he? Where is he?" We know you talked to him on Facebook the other day.
To address that problem that is not a problem that's going away, I mean, for me, I go to the States regularly. I got some friends in Vegas, and I love visiting them. And whenever I go to Vegas, it doesn't matter if I'm booking for 2 days or I'm booking for 11 days.
Yeah.
And that I only use those numbers because that's the span of time I've went
Right.
range.
Yeah, you do the 2
But,
weekends. Of the one.
I mean, I get asked all the questions. I go to the airport and I got my shit packed.
They're like,
no one
what's
has
your steel bar? What's that steel bar?
no.
in your arm?"
I breeze through that type of security. That type of security.
Do you have cards for that? That was
No. I'm just
okay.
I just pack preparedly, and implant grade materials don't set off metal detectors. I don't get stopped for that type of security. I don't. It doesn't happen. I breeze through security. You behind me in security, you're looking and you're like, who's that dude with the pink neck, the fucking 3-foot ponytail, the giant metal things hanging off every part of him I can see, and I can only imagine what the fuck is in his suitcase. And I walk through security smiling, and everybody gives. I've had hugs from security members in the States, and I don't know if you ever dealt with American security. It's fucking garbage.
No, they get shit on.
But I mean, when I get there and they have to talk to me, I get asked about my work no matter what I do. Because you look at me and you can Google a picture of me and then find out what I do.
Well, it better make sense, or they're going to ask you questions. It better be like, well, I own a, like if you can be like, I own a studio.
But the funny thing is
okay.
It doesn't matter that I own a studio. It doesn't matter that Calgary, anything anybody has ever heard me say about the city, I fucking love it here. This is my home.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I want to be no matter what.
Yeah.
I go to the States and they're like, are you doing work? And I say no, because when I go to the States, I don't do work. I hang out with my friends. I drink too much liquor, and I fucking make out with my buddies, and it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, no matter what, Mecca is one of the suspension events. That's where straight dudes go to make out with other straight dudes, and it's fucking ridiculous. And pictures don't get.
I'm not even kidding. That's a fair plug, right?
Fuck, Google that, everybody.
Mike Coons, give me a hug.
You guys hang each other up and start making out?
Oh hell yeah, dude! It's a lot of bromance, man. It gets very emotional.
You know what the funniest bromance moments is anybody who makes it with our buddy Rome.
Yeah, because the biggest beard. He looks like a Viking. It's
Rome is that dude who you cannot outman Rome.
Right.
You can't.
His name is
That's
Rome.
not a real thing.
He actually served in the U.S. military and was blown in half by a bomb, like literally like in two pieces, and they put him back together minus a few inches of his body. He has a giant scar that goes all the way around him.
Not going to complain. That makes me happy because I love Rome and he's still alive, but it also makes me happy because we're the same height now.
Yeah, and like this dude is huge, and even minus a few inches, this man is still a monster of a fucking man.
I don't want to wrestle him.
Fuck.
I'll kiss the motherfucker because he's my boy, but
that is fucking wild.
Back to the airport thing. It's funny because you do get targeted when you look gnarly, but bottom line is we know how to pack.
Right.
Well, we get it. Like the first few times you do it, and you're like, wow, like I am a target, but like people who look like us, we're not smuggling drugs.
We're a target. Wipe all my shit down. I don't care.
We have a hard enough time getting our socks through. So
I have 100 hours of tattooing above my shirt line. Yeah, I'm a heat score.
Yeah.
Do not ever give me drugs.
No fucking around. Yeah, no doubt. The only reason I asked about that is because, like, my grandpa had a couple fake hips and like a clip on his liver. And he had cards.
He liked to party.
He was
that liver clip. That's a party sign.
The old surgical materials that they used to use, like what your grandpa would have had in them, were magnetic. The implant grade materials that we use now are not magnetic. Right? So you would have a card saying, I have a fake hip, scan me, x-ray me.
Yeah. If it goes off, that's
the only thing you'll see is the hip. But the older grade metals weren't to par to what we have now.
Now, that right there is a can of worms that I get into literally every day at the shop. And if anyone ever wants to hear me being a cunt, all you need to do is come in and say, surgical steel, Dan. But the thing is the medical community has done decade upon decade upon decade and spent millions and millions and millions of dollars doing research onto what different metals do within the body. And why? And that three-letter magical word, why, I love that word.
That's a good one.
That makes it so that there's so much potential for information there. It's amazing. But you look at what was going on when your grandpa got his fake hips and his liver clip. Yeah, I like to call that a party clip. But
old cirrhosis Jimmy,
that wonderful whiskey drinking. I hope
the fucking liver keep trying to grow back though.
yeah, dude, because livers are amazing like that. That is, if there was a god, that is his sign that we should party.
Fair enough.
Now, the metals and shit that went into people 30 years ago. They were still doing research and they were still watching what happens when we put this shit in a human. We have a pretty good idea, but we don't know.
In 10 years, how it will react, how it will break down.
And then how long did your
15
grandpa...
15 years.
He had it 15 years.
15-year ones.
You look at knee replacements
I think
nowadays.
they redid one.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The coating on the stainless steel will break down from the old ones, and they have to replace them.
I know the last one he got, it was a lot more like nylon, or probably
nylon and Teflon.
Just the outside of it that touched the bone, like on the receiving cap, was metal.
Yeah, just so it wouldn't cause joint erosion.
Yeah, wow.
Speaking of joint erosion, I was having this talk about just nonsense that happens in the medical community that pisses me off because I love reading about what's going on in the medical community. Right. I love reading what's going on with whatever the fuck is going on in the world. It's awesome. Yeah. And I love watching Doug cringe and tear up when I talk about nanobots.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not
Yeah,
my-
we
it's not my
brought up
jam.
nanobots.
Oh, I
We gotta
love
get back-
nanobots.
The whole
Nanobots.
Matrix thing, not my jam.
Second generation nanobots plugging right into me. First generation, those are for the other guys. Second, for me.
So, do they have these yet?
No, well, that's what I was talking about with the SciShow robotic swarm.
Okay.
That for me is the first step towards nanobots. You talk to people like Kurzweil, and he's writing crazy books. He's talking about exponential growth. There is exciting shit on the horizon. But 2020, we're getting nanobots. I hope, and I'm excited about it. But you get into the medical technology and what's actually going on in the world today. And I was talking to my buddy Chris Goldberg, who he's a great tattoo artist. He skateboards like a motherfucker, and I love hugging him any chance I can get.
God, I love our generation for this shit.
And
Dinosaurs
Technology
are
and
fucking
hugs.
dying. Yeah, and it's like, oh, my buddy skateboards, and he's like, cool.
I was talking to him about damaged knees, because he has shit knees from skateboarding. I have shit knees from being a fucking retard with whatever I do. And
Extracurricular.
like I can't count how many times that I have made very intimately close friends with trees while snowboarding. And yeah, my knees are kind of fucked from it, among other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have had the technology to regrow cartilage within our joints.
Within the joint.
Within the joints, like I'm talking.
So you don't have to graft it in. Or
I'm not
some
talking
bullshit?
crazy intense surgery. I'm talking. You straighten your leg. I give you an injection, and then we bind your leg, and you have your leg not move really for a week.
How long?
And
has that been
we're
around?
talking about regrowing for knees. I only know this number because I looked it up literally an hour ago, and 86% of initial cartilage regrowth. Okay, 86 fucking percent. How long have we had this? Take a guess. Because the website I was
Since
referring
Reagan.
to was 2004. Reagan was what year? What year was Reagan? Because I don't.
Well, Clinton came in 92.
Choke.
88 up to 88. So
Okay.
80 to 88.
way before Reagan. I don't know. I don't know.
That's when
American
religious
politics.
fundamentalism came
Dude,
in.
the problem
Okay,
is Gene
we're
Hackman.
talking
Stem
less
cells.
about.
Is it stem cells?
Man, no. We're talking about literally human growth hormone, and like I got in this fucking talk because
Human growth hormone injected into the
Oh,
cartilage?
Hold on. Let me get there. Okay, we got distracted. We're kind of split up.
Yeah.
Human growth hormone. I talked to my doctor. Like I've recently changed family doctors, and this guy keeps sending me for blood tests because I complain about shit, and I tell him this is what you're gonna find, and he takes the blood test. I go there, and he's like, well, turns out everything that you fucking said is exactly what I fucking read on my stupid paperwork.
Yeah.
And you had to go to this shitty blood clinic, and I made you wait 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I get pissed off because I love reading about this shit. I love learning about this shit. I'm very in tune with my body. I'm very well read about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, human growth hormone. When I asked him about regrowing cartilage damage in my knees, my ankles, my elbows, my thumbs.
Right.
And he's like, "You're retarded." And he looks at me like I'm some stupid cunt kicking a ball against the wall, and I'm sitting here thinking,
Did you know I could fly to Germany and have this done tomorrow? And show you, and then
that's what I
you
felt
can
like
give
saying
me your
to him.
PhD. Like, fuck.
That's what I felt like saying to this guy who's about 4 years younger than me. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and be polite because I can't write prescriptions.
Oh man.
Now, when it comes down to it,
Dan's all about the pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
I looked into this thing, and using human growth hormone to regrow cartilage, and I mean, right now, as much as I can understand the procedure without having a doctorate in it,
Yeah.
what it comes
From
down
reading.
to is you need to put an injection of a certain amount of human growth hormone into your damaged joint,
Just
and then-
enough for that.
and then keep
Yeah.
that joint immobilized for a specific amount of time. To the best of my reading, it's about
Yeah.
a week, and you can begin the regrowth factor of regrowing up to 86%
Fuck.
of original cartilage in knees. In ankles, elbows, thumbs, it's up to 95 fucking percent.
But it only
And-
works if you do the injection and yell Gene Hackman.
This has nothing to do with Gene Hackman. But, I mean, the website I was on, it was iagf.com or
Okay.
something similar to that. And you know when they found this out? You know when this discovery was made?
I'm going to guess now, like, the 30s.
1965.
Okay, yeah.
60 fucking 5.
Yeah.
It's been around for 50 years.
Well, they had to pop Kennedy first. So.
Well,
You're all about that, aren't you?
this doctor looks at me like I'm retarded for mentioning human growth hormone to regrow cartilage,
It's
and I'm
been
like, dude,
around since his parents were born.
this has been around since before you.
Like, keep
before
in
you
mind,
were
a
a
doctor
fucking
like that,
person.
like, in a newer age, they're trained to not acknowledge that kind of
Well, I mean,
It's still ridiculous. but
again,
it's there.
I don't want to get into a dinner table discussion about this, but again, when you have the government involved with the medical system, I mean, they know that's part of what a doctor's sitting there doing is going, well, I know that this isn't going to get approved, so I'm just going to make sure this guy thinks he's stupid. You know, like there's no room for innovation.
Yeah.
There's no
drank
ri- there's
whiskey
no-
when he said, "Make sure this doctor makes you think you're stupid."
There's no room for innovation because it's like, no, we got to keep the status quo to get our budget this year again.
And anything
As
questionable,
opposed to-
they're trained to not acknowledge it.
Yeah, and a lot of it seems like, I mean, it seems like the Canadian system's based off the American system, and the way those guys are trained through the AMA and all that shit is like,
How
it's
not
all
to get
drugs.
sued?
Well, how not to get sued and what drugs to give for what? Like when they complain for A, you give B. You know, like it's fucking. That's just their training. I mean,
There was this doctor very recently. I forget her name, and I don't want to misrepresent, but she did a TED talk about transparency with your medical professional, and she runs a website, and that website is for doctors to come on and talk about how they feel about shit. And as silly as that sounds, that's really, really applicable to the average person. I mean, I don't want a doctor that thinks abortion shouldn't be legal. Because, one, I think that doctor's a cunt. And two, I think that doctor's a cunt. And I don't want to be
And the first
taking
rule of Fight
medical
Club
advice.
is-
You're a cunt.
I don't want to take medical advice from someone I think is a cunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, no matter what your view on abortion is, because that's silly to get into on a radio podcast about medical and drink or about metal and drinking. But I mean, if I don't agree with your politics, if I don't agree with how you think about things, I don't want you to be my medical practitioner.
Yeah.
And ultimate transparency should be easily obtainable in every industry.
Yeah.
That is a huge part of why I try to be transparent with my clients and tell them, ask me to see my invoices for my jewelry, because that shows my ethical retail markup.
Yeah, here's
Or
my
just-
certificate.
Or
Here's
just
my
ask them if they know Asshole Dan.
Yeah. No.
Piercer Dan.
Say,
Oh, yeah, I was like, Butcher Dan?
just putting this out there. Asshole Dan is what's on my mirror. But when
With
it
money
comes down
symbols, nonetheless.
when it comes down to it, like, I mean, be transparent with people, and your doctor should also follow that. Like,
Yeah.
Like you do sound work.
Yeah.
Are you gonna recommend a fucking mic that sucks dicks?
Yeah, right.
Well,
No,
maybe if you want your dick sucked, but not if you want to sing into it.
Yeah, maybe if I had a sponsorship deal with dicksuckmics.com. But I don't. I have a sponsorship deal with righthookmics.com, which is way better.
Righthookmic.com.
Go to righthookmics.com.
That's the real big James
No.
thing.
They still might be cunts, but they make really good mics.
Only the real Doug Smode would say that that's the real Big James mic. No. Righthookmics.com. Go check them out. Go buy all their mics.
Especially if you're not a cunt.
Hey man, this is yeah. This is a podcast about everything, so we can say whatever the fuck we want. And I agree with you. We should fucking, yes, we should have faith in our medical practitioners. We should and be able to be on here and say whatever we want. That's one thing that's really weird about the Nordic countries, because they've got the medical system down like a motherfucker. The problem is is like 70% income tax. So that's kind of the trade-off. And you know, weird little rules like, oh, you want to retire now? You can go to the 5-star hotel in Norway to retire, or we'll tax the money we already taxed you at like 75% at 91% if you try to leave the fucking country.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this like,
it's a grab.
Now
it's
to
like
get
when
in there,
like I feel like it's really weird in Canada because we kind of need to pick a side. Like we either need to we either need to become fucking Norway and Sweden, which it looks just like Canada there,
and it's working.
Mix that with Colorado,
or because our population is so low. Yeah. That's why. Like we always compare ourselves to the States.
But they have 10 times the population.
You can't compare. It's like my little friend Ava is 4'3", and she's looking up to me like, you can't compare these two humans. Yeah. Like we're not going to fight each other. We're in a different weight class. You know what I mean?
Don't bring up fighting. Just hug it out.
Yeah. Oh no, we always hug it out.
I know damn well you hit her. I seen it.
She asked me to.
About those European countries and about everybody else that seems to be doing it right. It's trial and error process, and I mean, it
seems like they're getting the technology though, because it's not just wastefulness because there's only this much money, and we have to do it in the status quo way. It's like, no, if you have a good idea, we encourage knowledge.
Not only that, but if you're going off a trial and error basis, the States, North America in itself has fucked up enough times that it should be progressing forward.
More.
Way more. Yeah,
you should have it all down.
So many major mistakes. Move on.
The States on so many topics should just be looked at as what not to do. Now, like
the government, not the people.
Whatever.
I have a lot of American friends. I adore the shit.
And they hate the fucking government, right? The Americans down there, for the most part, hate the fucking government, even if they voted for George Bush.
He was pretty cool.
Like, hey, man, like everybody
was a mad character.
And you know what? They're gonna go vote for Jeb Bush. Whatever, doesn't matter. Like they're like, I need a job.
You know what?
Anyway,
we're getting too political. We're talking about voting real quick. I'm just gonna put this out there because I've heard a lot of negative shit about not voting. For me, I don't vote. You know why I don't vote? I don't vote because they don't publicly post how many people don't vote. They don't post vandalized votes.
Yeah, I know.
They don't
That's a non-vote.
That saying shit that is saying, I don't want your candidate.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%.
For me, I read a lot. I'm an aggressive atheist. I do not like religion, and there's not a single person that can give me a thing that says religion is reasonable to put into daily life. So, as far as I'm concerned, until I get a public atheist politician, I'm not going to vote. Because all I'm saying is, I'm putting my name behind a cunt that has a rational fucking mindset that believes in magical book nonsense.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, no, I know. And I think this is what we can all agree on. I mean, I agree too. They're like, again, it's like, they don't want Bitcoin, but fucking real banks can get stolen from on the internet. Yeah. So what the fuck? Like
so
the internet. So it's like we don't vote online, but all the voting process is fucked up anyway. So
we should
it's like,
vote
what?
online.
If there's voting online, you would have 100% voter turnout. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, maybe not 100%, but probably like high
Saddam
80s.
Hussein style voter turnout. You'd have like 98, 99%.
That's a funny topic.
I have a solution to all of this. Vote Black Doug.
Yeah, no, I do that. That's what I mean. I've voted 3 fucking times. I voted 3 times in my life, and I've spoiled my ballot.
Every time it said Black Doug.
It pisses me off that doesn't get counted. Spoiled ballots should get counted and fucking brought into the math.
I just want to put this out there. If you do vote Black Doug, you are voting for
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang? We're the main political campaign promise is we are going to clone Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That motherfucker is coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back. He's coming back for $1 bill, yo.
So obviously then, with all of this that we've said, You guys, I wanted to bring up the idea of transhumanism. So you're totally into this. Are you into this? Are you not into this?
No, it's a hard line for me.
Yes and no.
This is
Like
what I'm
me
wondering.
personally, me and Dan have conflicting interests on this.
Because I want nanobots, and Doug is terrified of them.
I'm with you. I'm not into like you put technology into me that you can possibly hack into and control. Fucks me up.
hack me?
But at the same time, do I want cyborg legs? Fuck yeah.
I know.
You know,
If I could run like a cheetah and jump like Superman, I'd be stoked.
Well, fuck. I mean, even me, it's like, I would get fucking crazy implants under my skin. Like, if I could fucking like, imagine you put one like right here that gives you on your forehead that gives you the ultimate headbutt. Like, you would just destroy anybody's skull.
But you're thinking so base.
No, that's so base. I know it's so base.
Like, I mean, I like headbutting motherfuckers too. There's not a situation in which a properly placed headbutt is not the solution.
And that's actually why I don't have any implants in the middle of my forehead. I have like a landing strip. This is I'm going to teach you what you did wrong strip.
Now, headbutts. This is an old story. I was at Broken City, and this is I want to say 2011, so it's not really that old.
Okay.
And I was quite drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure.
No big deal. You're over 21, right?
MBD.
Recently being that day, we had at Heroes and Villains tattooed several people that were part of the British Reserves for the military.
Oh, yeah. Oh, awesome.
Now,
this story's going to get killer.
As things escalate, as they always do, because if they don't, you're a twat. But I mean, if things don't escalate, you're doing it wrong. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Things escalate. I'm talking to these Brits, and they're talking to me, and we're getting rowdy. So it hits. At that time, we closed at 8, so it probably hit about 7:42, and I was like, I'm not getting any more clients tonight. I'm going to run over to the liquor store, because in Alberta we have privatized liquor stores, and it's awesome. And so I ran over and I got a bottle of whiskey. Now, I got a bottle of whiskey specifically, not scotch. Got whiskey. And those fucking English guys, they drank with me. We drank that bottle of whiskey down. Yeah. And I said, hey, we're going to go over to Broken City now, and we're gonna drink way too much, and we're going to have a fantastic time. And this was back in the time of Punk Rock Bingo when Dauber Dave did it, and it was proper. And as far as I'm concerned now, Punk Rock Bingo I'm not a fan of. But the way he did it, it was awesome. So we all end up over there, and a couple tattoo artists, me, these British military guys, we're all over there, and we're drinking. It turns into a drinking contest, as you can picture. And eventually, we hug it out. And me and the big British guy, we hug it out. We happen to accidentally, and I'm saying that with quotes, bump heads. And that turns into, oh, you bump my head? Oh, you bump my head. We're bumping heads. So I headbutt this guy. He headbutts me back. And we both giggling along. And we're having a time.
On the Broken City dance floor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because dancing means headbutting, right? That's the same thing. So we're there, and it escalates. It escalates and it escalates, and we're hugging each other like rib to nipple area, but anything above that is clashing. So this guy, he actually headbutted me harder than I've ever been headbutted, and this is coming from someone who bounced in Toronto. I've been headbutted a lot of times, and this guy, he clipped me and stirred my shit.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, wow, let's just hug this one a little long.
I have a concussion, let's hug.
So, yeah, exactly. I have a concussion. I'm sure of this. And so we hugged it out, then we headbutted some more, and then eventually he clipped me, and he got me like right at the corner of the eye. And so I stood up straight, and I was like, dude, that was a dirty pool. And he was like, what do you mean? So I headbutted him at the corner of the eye with at this moment, drunkenly, malicious intent,
Yeah.
and I put him
Drunken
down.
malicious intent. And you put him down.
I put him down, and he hit the ground like a sack of shit, and I felt like garbage. I mean,
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
This guy was my brand new friend.
You were going over.
You
were going over the British level.
Him and
of
I
taking it
had
up a
like
notch.
19 hugs and like 28 headbutts. So he hit the ground, and it surprised me. And immediately, I felt shitty, and I reached down, I dove on this guy, and I scooped him up, and I was hugging him, and he woke back up, and he looks at me and is like, "Fuck yeah, dude."
Awesome.
Nice.
And so I'm like I grab him and I put my hand behind his head and I pull him in tight, and I'm like, "Dude, that's fucking rad.
We have bro concussions."
I felt like shit, and you made me feel instantly better. And then his boy comes in. As soon as the guy I've just had the most bromance with, he comes in and he goes, "You knocked out my friend. He's also my commanding officer."
Oh shit!
And like, admittedly, I'm not a tall dude. Depending on my fucking broken back, I fluctuate like an inch and a half. And
hilarious.
Like,
wow.
Good day is average 5'11", and this guy, he's like 5'6". And this guy looks at me, and he goes, "I'm gonna show you." And he fucking headbutts me, but instead of headbutting me in the forehead, like somebody of comparable height, he gets me in the cheekbone, and I'm like, "Oh motherfucker!" And I back right up, and I'm covering my eye because my eye is like actually swelling shut because this cunt just nailed me, and I'm like, "That was a good shot." And I hug him out, and I think it's over, but I realize that because I've had this moment of romance and love and concussions with the leader of the troop, that I'm now in for it.
You have to fight everybody.
No, well, yes, but not fighting.
Yeah, you have to fight the rest of them.
I headbutted the entire British Army.
Oh my God.
So this guy, he clips me in the eye, and I end up getting down, and I get in. It was ridiculously similar to my septum piercing stance, which is like a squat lunge kind of nonsense where I'm comfortable and no one else is. And I get him, and I headbutt him.
It's like a power thrust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power thrust to the forehead. So I hit this guy, and I hit him like at the pinnacle of the I don't know, the forehead lump, and he is like 3/4 of an inch off his eyebrow, and he backs up. He shakes his head like a ram, and I'm thinking, "Oh fuck, this guy's gonna get me. He's gonna break my collarbone or something."
Busta Rhymes style.
And he steps back and he puts a hand up. He goes, "Got me." And this other motherfucker who comes in, same height as me, he headbutts me in the fucking forehead again, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm stirred.
God, you're like
shaking.
the fucking boss of Canada.
No.
In the video game.
I just had
like they made it
I had
to
one of those moments of good representation.
Yeah. Thank you.
This guy backs me up, and I'm like,
that's patriotic.
if this shit continues, I'm going to sleep, and someone is going to have their way with me because I got real pretty hair.
He does have
we show his chap.
This shit continues, and luckily for me, I get that moment interval in between characters, and I get to reconfirm my balance, and eventually it comes down. And the last guy, I remember this guy so fucking clearly. He was about 5'9" and like blonde spiky hair and such a Cockney accent, like ridiculous. I couldn't understand him. I had to keep asking him what he said, and I hugged him way too much. And this guy, he headbutts me.
Dan is a hugger.
Yeah,
he headbutts.
Like
oh yeah.
Hug.
Drunken. I'm hugging.
Don't be gay. Show us your dick.
That's over campfires. So this guy, he headbutts me and he splits my right eyebrow right above my eye, and it's like this vertical split about like I don't know, like 9 millimeters, not very big, but enough that I'm pissing blood. Yeah. And I'm just standing there, and I don't realize this. I think I'm tearing up from the impact that this guy gave me.
Yeah.
And I'm wiping my eye, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll drink this whiskey, and I drink another shot, and I'm wiping my eye out. And this guy's looking at me. He's like, "You got this? You got this?" And I'm looking at him confused. And I look at my hands, and I got a lot of blood on my hand. And I plug this eye. And I give him one back. And then I have this spear. I'm like, dude, help me to the bathroom. I need some Kleenex.
I'm sick of headbutting you fucking guys.
And when all was done and said, I had a headbutt competition with like fucking 14 of these cunts.
Regiment of
and they're all
British
like,
military.
This fucking piercer from Calgary, he's such a cunt, but he just stays standing. He just keeps drinking.
Cunt is like a glorification there. If you at first you're,
I think
you're
that
like,
is the exact point of which I use cunt every other word.
Once you got split, maybe they're like, he's a fine cunt. Yeah.
Oh no, it was before that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
That split was the justification. That split was the exact moment of where my mother no longer had a say in how much I said cunt.
Yeah. Hey, see this 9 mil, Mom? Popped on my eye. Yeah. I went up against the British military. That's fucking awesome.
By myself.
Man. I have a fucking hilarious British military D story. So we're at the D. It's like 1 a.m. These fucking kids show up. They get carded. Jordan cards them. He's hard as fuck. And
got stabbed in the neck.
Right in the neck.
Yeah. Jordan Campbell's hard as fuck.
I love that guy.
And so Mark and like Jim, I remember. I think Karina was there. Fucking, they're talking to these military guys, and I go over there and I get in on the conversation, and fucking. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll go open up the barracks, man. We'll fucking go shoot some guns. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
that sounds awesome.
Because we're like, they're doing shots like motherfuckers, and it's just getting out of hand real fast, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's how
they've been there 15 minutes, and they fucking ran up, $300 tab.
Perfect.
Like,
they're my friends.
They're like 4 shots each right now.
Yeah. And now let's go shoot some guns.
Yeah, and then now let's go. So then this is like going, and they're like, we're going to kick everybody out and go over there. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So, but then like time's going by and we're trying to kick these drunk motherfuckers out, and they're taking their fucking time, and then finally they get kicked out.
You
and
just needed those Brit boy guns.
I'm like, man, are we really going over there to shoot like real guns and shit? Like, we're all fucked up. Like, we're all really fucked up. And he's like,
had what alcoholics call.
He's like, no, it's a realistic simulation. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we go to this place, and we get in this place, and it's huge.
Was it right?
I don't want to say where it is. I don't want to say where it is. I don't want to say where it is. Just cause.
Yeah.
And this place is huge, and I was like, holy fuck. How the fuck do you guys have the keys to this fucking place? Like, this is fucked up.
Who trusted you?
And we've got like a 2-4 and a fucking bottle of fucking Fireball, and like it's just we're all ready to fucking go. So they take us into they're like, oh, don't worry about it, man. We're good. Don't worry. Fuck. Don't go. Okay. Fuck. All right.
Okay,
fuck. We get into this place. All of a sudden these guys snap into military mode, and they're setting up this fucking simulation game. It's like a projection thing. But the guns are real, but they don't shoot bullets, but they have real recoil, and all this stuff, and they start going through this procedure, right? They're like, oh, check. It was like, holy fuck, what the fuck? We're like smoking out on the roof of this place, so like smoking out there and drinking, and fuck, man, and then we did all this crazy like military exercises.
So you got to shoot things?
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was like playing fucking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but it was war.
Oh, dude, good
like
name drop. Good name drop.
Cheese ball fucking helicopter comes down, and these guys, you start shooting at them, and like that's how they. It was funny. It was like a bad Nintendo game, but with like real guns that felt real. They weren't loud. It wasn't like bang, bang, bang. Like that's
but like,
to
the
me,
recoil, the holding it, like everything else.
To me, that's what you if you have a high-powered rifle, you need to be used to the concussion of how loud it
It's
is.
that shoulder hit,
Like,
though.
Not
Yeah.
even like when it comes to sound, like, it doesn't even matter about rifles, handguns, anything, dude. Shotguns.
It makes you just fucking.
It's loud. Like,
Yeah.
if you shoot guns outside of an emergency situation without earplugs in, you're an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
they're fucking loud, man.
Yeah.
Like, you shoot a handgun on it, like, in, like, a closed range, a closed building. That
or
shit
you just
will-
really like Motorhead.
Dude, I really like Motorhead. Motorhead has nothing on a fucking Gold 45 shut off in a range
Well,
without earplugs.
I think Motorhead's probably like a Colt 45, just exploding consistently over and over.
Maybe if it
Like,
was
well,
shooting
that's
you
a
like
loud
directly
gun.
in the forehead yourself and you weren't shooting the gun.
It really
That band is
depends.
very
Is
loud.
Lemmy playing the bass with a Colt 45?
Well, actually, Lemmy plays the bass through fucking Marshall guitar cabinets, which is fucking crazy.
Like
and
old
weird.
school stacks?
Yeah, but he doesn't use bass amps.
Really?
Yeah, he uses Marshall stack. Like they're like, give us a
Like
wall,
guitar
give us a wall of Marshalls, man. Fuck, we need them full tone, 30
Nate,
wide.
why don't you tell me how you really feel?
Real quick here, this is why Nate is a really good sound guy.
Oh, cheers, thank you. BigNateProductions.com.
Big Nate Productions.
Suck a nerd.
Well, and I think I should say, well, should we talk? Well, how about this? We're right at around 90 minutes.
90 minutes is for bitches.
Fair enough. So, but we'll make this the end of the official podcast. And if you really want to get hard as fuck, you can keep listening. You can just turn it
B-roll
off.
bitches.
All right, well,
So-
if this is the end of the official podcast, I actually have a gift for you, Nate.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I brought something
What the fuck?
that means a lot to me that I would like you to hang up in your little studio here.
Oh, okay.
The drunk
Oh, I've
bus
never
is
been
getting a gift.
gifted before.
This is the
That's a big
first
bag.
of a tradition.
This is the first rat
Oh,
trap
You
I
don't expect
ever
me to put my hand in that, do you?
No,
put
no,
on
no,
my
no.
dick.
I
Pulled out a
highly,
giant rat trap.
I highly recommend do not put your hand in
Okay,
it.
good. Thank you.
There's very few
This
things that
rat
would
trap,
survive that. One is Doug's
I
dick.
have actually put my dick in that full bore.
Oh my gosh.
And you're allowed to break your friend's
You put
fingers
your
with
dick
that. Yeah, dude.
You
It gets
put your
gnarly.
dick right
Can I
there?
see that for a quick second?
Don't-
Do
don't
the
say
snap.
that.
Do the snap.
Just to show you how strong this thing is.
Okay.
And that's from 3 feet from the microphone.
I also signed it and
Oh,
dated it from the first
shit.
time I ever did that trick.
So you signed it and mushroom stamped it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated, man. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking hang this somewhere.
Nail that to something
Yeah,
that
man,
many people touch.
There's things.
Put it on your fucking door handle.
I might stick my dick in it one day.
Dude,
You
I don't
never know.
recommend it, man. It's a good trick and I'm going to do it again, but I don't fucking recommend it, man.
Just putting this
It-
out there.
it
If
put
you're
me
gonna
out of
switch to video, that's how you should start.
It put me out of commission
Yeah.
for a few days.
Yeah. Whoa, is it black and blue?
Very.
Oh my god. That's Did you do that hard?
No, man, I was kind of just like...
We
wrapped
call that-
it- I kind of just
That's
wrapped
what I'm
it...
wondering.
Kind
It
of just
totally
wrapped
changes
it in
everything.
a sock. I asked a few people if they wanted to touch it to make sure it was real. A bunch of people
Your
touched
dick?
it, which were all
Your-
dudes, by the way.
We'll
All
call that the
dudes.
tackled
That happens
dolphin.
every time.
And then my husband and life partner, John Hall, held the rat trap on stage, and I just kind of blooped my dick into it. Like, bloop. Bloop. But by bloop, I mean fucking snap. And, yeah, man.
His
So,
dick went for
on
the cheese.
a 0 to 10. How hard was your dick?
Maybe like a 2.5.
He was excited. 'cause
Yeah.
He's
I was excited, but I was nervous. Oh, I was nervous. I watched, like, right before we practiced this trick, which we only do on stage, I watched this rat trap demolish a carrot that was 1.5 inches thick.
Oh.
Like, seriously, tear this thing apart and it went everywhere.
that carrot was decapitated.
And we had sutures and medical supplies, like, on side stage because there was a good chance 4 inches of my dick was needed to be put on ice and rushed to the hospital.
Holy fuck.
Just
You
saying
almost-
that would have made me very entertained.
You almost bobbited yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. but my dick is very hardcore and war-torn. So it survived the trap. And I live on to do it again.
Well, we're going to play this at the very end here, but I feel
Here
like
it comes.
I feel like I need to... Thank you very much for the gift.
You're welcome, mate.
Thank you guys for being on here. We're going to keep going, folks, if you want to listen.
Yeah.
But
B-roll, bitches.
Oh, here's the disclaimer. It's going to get messy. This podcast
Someone
is
might
brought...
get raped.
Oh, no.
Probably going to be Doug.
On that note, this broadcast is brought to you by Right Hook Microphones. RightHookMics.com.
They
Check them
record
out.
rape very well.
Yeah. We'll see how the stereo field on the rape is. This podcast is brought to you by Big Nate Productions and CalgaryMetalfest.com. Go there. Check it out. Fucking read shit. Go to shows. Get your shit together.
If you don't, you're a cunt.
Thank you guys for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
Dude, I love
Much
it.
appreciated.
You're
Love it.
huge.
Get the fuck off of our boat!